Hi, welcome. These days, the internet is buzzing with layoff news. It's everywhere. X company laid off 10,000 people, 20,000, 30,000, that sort of news. I mean, there are even channels just leaving off of this kind of layoff news, letting off people, a lot of negativity everywhere. That's one aspect. On the other hand, one would wonder if so many people are being laid off, why not these companies openly posting these news on their website? So I'm going to go over some of the reasons why I think companies definitely they are not needed to. At the same time, what other factors companies would take into consideration and why they are not posting this sort of news on their websites openly.
So, why don't companies announce layoffs? So, before I get into details, a disclaimer. This analysis is based on publicly available information and general industry patterns, and it reflects my personal perspective. Just want it to be out there. Okay, let's move on. So, most people assume that if a company lays off thousands of employees, they would clearly announce it on their website. But in reality, that almost never happens. So the question is, why? So one thing that comes to my mind is investor impact. That is stock market and investor impact. One of the biggest reasons is investor reaction. A sudden announcement of large layoffs. It can create panic in the market and negatively impact stock prices. It's pretty obvious though. So companies carefully control how and when this information is made public. And the second thing I can think of, second reason I can think of is the legal reality. Legal disclosures are limited. So interestingly, companies are not required to disclose everything publicly. In the US, laws like the WARN Act only require disclosure for specific localized layoffs. There is no requirement to announce a global total. That is why you often see small official numbers but much larger estimates in the media. And there is one more factor, and that is phased layoffs. So layoffs usually happen in phases. They don't happen all at once. They occur in phases across teams, regions, and time periods. So at any given moment, the company itself may not have a final number to announce. And that's a reality though. And the next one is the brand and PR, employer branding and PR. Publicly announcing large layoffs can damage a company's reputation. It can hurt hiring. It can also affect employee morale and create negative press. So instead, companies prefer softer languages like restructuring or sometimes complete silence. And then if we take a case study, there has been a lot of talk about a large DB database SaaS provider laying off thousands of employees just recently. That is what we are seeing now. This recent situation around one of the leading DB SaaS providers, like I was talking about, there are confirmed reports of layoffs affecting thousands of employees, but the company hasn't officially published a global number. Most of what we know comes from filings and media reports, not a single official announcement. And that seems to be the norm across the industry for a long, long time now. So what it means for engineers. If you are in the tech, this trend matters. What we're seeing is a shift towards artificial intelligence, automation, and cost optimization in large-scale systems. This is changing the kind of roles companies prioritize, especially in areas like distributed systems and cloud. Now, the key takeaway is simple. Layoffs are real, but full transparency is not guaranteed. What we see publicly is often just a partial view of a much larger internal process. So this is something to be noted. Once again, this analysis is based on publicly available information and general industry patterns, and it reflects my personal perspective. With that, I close this video. Thank you so much.